It's one of the most ordinary objects on Earth. You've held it, chewed on it, dropped it during exams, and somehow lost 17 of them in a single school year. But inside that tiny yellow stick is baked carbon, industrial machinery, precision engineering, and enough manufacturing steps to make the pencil feel wildly overqualified for doodling. Seriously, humans looked at graphite and said, what if we trapped this rock inside wood and made children panic with it during math tests? I'm Professor Everything, and today we'll be answering the question, how are pencils made? Right here on Explaining Everything. First, let's clear up one of history's most successful lies. Pencil lead contains absolutely no lead. Real lead is toxic, soft, and a terrible thing to casually hand to children. Pencil cores are actually made from graphite, a form of carbon mixed with clay and water. This confusion started in the 1500s when a massive graphite deposit was discovered in England. People thought it was a type of lead because it left dark marks on surfaces. To make pencil cores, manufacturers grind graphite into an extremely fine powder and mix it with clay. The ratio matters a lot. More graphite equals darker, softer pencils. More clay equals harder, lighter pencils. That's why pencil grades exist. A soft 6B pencil writes dark and smooth, while a hard 4H pencil feels like it's personally offended by paper. The mixture becomes a thick paste, similar in consistency to brownie batter used for baking, but it is industrial and not edible. Then comes extrusion. The paste is forced through tiny tubes to create long, thin graphite rods. Basically, giant factory machines squeeze out pencil cores like extremely academic spaghetti. These rods are cut to size and baked in kilns at high temperatures to harden them. Some are also coated in wax or oil to help them write more smoothly. Now, for the wooden part. Most high-quality pencils are made from cedar, especially incense cedar, because it's lightweight, soft, durable, and sharpens cleanly without exploding into splinters. Not all woods work well for pencils. Some woods crack easily, dull sharpeners, or fail to grip the graphite properly. Pencil companies evaluate trees for their suitability, almost as if the trees were auditioning for the process. Logs are cut into thin wooden slats, then dried in controlled conditions to reduce moisture. Wet wood warps, shrinks, and behaves unpredictably, kind of like humans in group projects. Machines carve several narrow grooves into each slat. These grooves hold the graphite cores in place. Then the graphite rods are laid into the grooves with surprising precision. Glue is added, and another grooved slat is placed on top, creating a tiny wooden sandwich. Factories then compress the slats together and cut them into individual pencil shapes, usually hexagonal, round, or triangular. The hexagonal shape became popular because it prevents pencils from rolling off desks and launching themselves directly toward the floor. Once shaped, pencils move on to finishing. First, they get sanded smooth and coated with layers of paint or lacquer. Multiple coats are usually applied because raw wood absorbs moisture and dirt easily. That iconic yellow pencil color became popular partly because early manufacturers wanted to signal high-quality graphite, especially graphite imported from China, where yellow symbolized royalty and prestige. Next comes the ferrule, that little metal band holding the eraser. Ferrules are typically made from aluminum because it's lightweight, corrosion-resistant, and easy to crimp onto the pencil. Tiny machines attach them at terrifying speeds. Then, the eraser gets inserted. Most erasers today are made from synthetic rubber or vinyl compounds designed to grip graphite better than paper does. They don't erase by deleting graphite. They physically lift and trap the particles through friction, which means every eraser is basically carrying the powdered remains of your mistakes. Here's the surprising part. Pencil production requires absurd consistency. If the graphite core is slightly off-center, the pencil sharpens unevenly and breaks more easily. If the wood moisture isn't controlled, pencils warp. If the graphite mixture is wrong, the pencil scratches paper or snaps constantly. Tiny errors ruin the entire writing experience. Factories test pencils for strength, sharpening quality, darkness, smoothness, and break resistance. Some machines even simulate writing pressure to make sure the graphite won't crumble under normal use. That's a lot of quality control for an object most people lose in couch cushions. And despite modern technology, pencils are still fundamentally built using the same core idea humans developed centuries ago. Put graphite inside wood. Hope for the best. So, how are pencils made? By grinding graphite into powder, baking it into solid cores, sealing it inside carefully shaped wood, and assembling everything with industrial-level precision. It's part chemistry, part engineering, and part humanity collectively deciding, yes, portable carbon sticks are important, which means every pencil is basically a tiny manufacturing miracle designed to survive backpacks, exams, and people aggressively clicking it against desks, even though it doesn't click. If you like this video, hit that like button and subscribe. Also, if you have suggestions for our next video, feel free to share them in the comments below. We'll be sure to give you an acknowledgement for your contribution. Thank you for tuning in, and join us next time here in the channel that answers all the why, what, who, where, and how questions you've always wondered about, here on Explaining Everything.